the one
Watching
thing, and
hockey?
then
You were
no,
watching
I watch hockey, and then I watch. Then it would you watch curling, but then I watch that as soon as the American skier goes. Well, I don't know about representing, or I'm wearing the flag, but I'm not off.
Oh,
I just
that one
I
MMA guy.
just watched the girl skate now.
The one MMA fighter was talking shit about him too. I forget that guy's name. What is his name?
Yeah,
He's like, "You're a skier, bitch. Shut up." Oh my God.
I got stuck watching some speed skating in a restaurant last night. It was mildly interesting, but we were nowhere in it.
I like the
Dutch won all those.
Who is it? Oh yeah, that's the one with the American guy. He won,
right?
And it's like that. How do you practice that arm swing and then the elbow aerodynamic?
Right. I'll show you.
Like that's
right? Those guys are built like horses.
I'm going to start doing that when I run.
Are massive. I mean,
right.
These guys are fucking women too. You're like, what the fuck?
Just walk like that when you're going through Home Depot. So you have
I'm turning the corner at Home Depot and I'm doing this,
and you're like hitting the bucket at the end cap, like you're switching lanes.
Right. And I'm out running around. I'm running through our neighborhood here, Chris. You know, the old hood. And I'm going around the traffic circle, but I'm like this. But I only run at like a 5.8 speed on the treadmill, so it just looks like.
And you're wearing that tight suit just with a scarf and goggles going down the neighborhood. What in the? Let's let him go.
Is it really hot in that onesie? Yeah, it's fucking hot.
It's the onesie that what's his face used to wear as a rabbit in Halloween. It's just a rabbit onesie, and you're speed skating.
It's Shuby's old dirty bunny costume that I'm running in.
All right. Wow. There you go.
All right. Well,
hey, staying on that.
I mean, you stay in that lane.
Staying
Let's
on
go.
the Olympics theme, and other than the mighty US of A, I also align with the Norwegians who have not been
fared well.
I've been having some problems with these people, lately.
They're more infamous than famous.
Correct.
In these Winter Olympics.
So this skier guy. His name is Sturla. I know I'm not saying it right. I'll learn when I go to Norway. Sturla Holm Lagred. And so this dude's skiing and he gets done skiing. And instead of just doing the standard interview at the bottom of the hill, he starts crying and talking about how he cheated on his girlfriend. And people are like, what the fuck is this guy's having a breakdown at the bottom of the hill? Like he was drinking too much of that.
Did he realize he meddled at that point, or no? Is that what it was? Like just a flush of emotions or something?
He meddled, all right, with the wrong broad.
He was drinking too much of that glog or whatever they drank before he went down the hill. And so
is he drinking out of a horn?
So it was actually
it was mead.
It was mead. And he was a biathlon. I'm sorry, it was biathlon, not skiing. Not that it matters, but he
tells the man.
So
what?
Nice.
You're the one that said biathlon. Oh, sorry. Go ahead. My fault.
He starts telling everybody, and he's talking to like the Norwegian broadcasting, but they're translating it. And I'm sure the American translators, English translators are like, what the fuck is this guy talking about? He's having like a moment here.
They gotta make sure like they're looking at Google Translate. They're like, wait, what? Okay.
So he starts talking just after he says the first thing he says is there's someone, I'm quoting him, there's someone I wanted to share it with who might not be watching today. 6 months ago, I met the love of my life, the most beautiful and kindest person in the world. 3 months ago, I made my biggest mistake and cheated on her. I told her about it a week ago. It's been the worst week of my life. And then he's crying like he's crying into one of his teammates, coats, and they're wiping his face like he looks like a kid that just came in from outside in the wintertime that got hit in the face with a snowball. It's like, it's okay. and
the Vikings have fallen very far, I'm telling you.
Where I expect these guys to be in some uniform that looks like the shaman QAnon guy from January 6th when he gets done with this episode. Right. And instead, he's out there crying in a white jacket and a white hat. And so anyway, he gives this whole story on cheating on his girlfriend. that would have been my gold. And, he only ended up with a bronze. So it's like,
That's like,
did he make this confession internationally because he thought he was ashamed, like he was like a failure because he only got bronze? Like, why would you spill the beans about something like that at that moment?
well, bro, you
I
only
don't
won
know.
bronze, so any chance you had of her calling, you only won
He must
bronze.
have, either sobered up or whatever after this and said, he says later, he might not have been in the right state of mind to give the interview after the race.
Wow, do you think?
And they quoted him one more time. Maybe it was really selfish of me to give that interview. So yeah, I don't know. I don't know. I'm not really here mentally.
From what I understand, though, the Olympic Committee, the same people that put together the drag queen Last Supper, they thought it got so much ratings because usually the Winter Olympics don't do as well as the Summer Olympics,
right.
that they're going to actually make it a prerequisite that anybody that bronzes, the punishment is you have to like make a confession about something. And I was thinking, like, okay, well, the Irish guys won something. So I forgive me, Father, for I have sinned. I had inappropriate thoughts about me cousin.
And it turns out he actually got the bronze because all his tears were freezing when he was skiing.
It's like we're talking about this. There's a lot of other excellence going on there right now.
And then he's on the ground shooting and he's trying to do that combat breathing, like to pull the trigger. And he's just
shot video, like I said, miraculous. He's changing shot.
You're shooting high. You're shooting high.
It's like it was amazingly tight grouping for a man that was sniveling like that.
Right. He's like my grandma used to be. He's got a couple of Kleenexes stuffed in the end of his sleeve. To wipe his nose and his tears with. Come on, man.
So what you're saying is she wasn't the love of your life. She really wasn't the love of your life.
I'm not happy with Norway right now. I'm just going to put it out there. I'm sorry. They need to. Let's get focused.
Well,
come on, like curling.
Right.
Yeah.
They're struggling. The feminization of Europe is what they're saying. Like the only real men there are the immigrants that are just being forced upon them. They're just like completely out of control. Like you just see that going on. You're just like, well, there you go. That didn't really help that reputation much.
Right. So I hope this guy got his shit together. And again, he's not doing the Norwegian version of standing out in front of his ex-girlfriend's house holding a boombox over his head like say anything.
No, he's
blowing that fucking horn. He's just holding up that horn.
Right.
He's going to be one of the contestants on Love Island Norway next.
It looks like a Ricola commercial.
He's going to be one of those male cheerleaders for the Vikings next year. He's just going to emigrate to the United States because he has a specific skill they're looking for. You know what I mean? That's an immigrant to be glad to have
crying.
Crying and
he's blowing the horn like a Ricola commercial in front of her house.
I love you.
Trying to get her to come out. She's like, what's Norwegian for pansy? No.
Hey, bro, why don't you try throwing pebbles?
I'll have to put that in Google Translate.
Well, it's only appropriate that the guy, like I said, is like, seeking penance here. I mean, this is the Lenten week.
Right.
Ash Wednesday has already happened by the time the show's coming out. And it got me thinking about, like, what I'm going to maybe consider giving up for Lent. As a police officer this year, just anybody. Obviously, my profession is policing, but like how it's going to help me maybe become a better cop and what I give up here and here at the twilight of my career. And I started thinking about you guys, and I'm like, wow, I wonder what these you guys give up. But Scott sent us a story again from Scandinavia. Scandinavia seems to be dominating our show today.
Yeah.
I was like, well, that's what he's going to give up. That's for sure. If that's the case, like Scott always talks about his diet, his poor dieting, and his affection for hot dogs. And I'll let him take it from here on.
Body by Love's Truck Plaza.
Yeah. Right.
Yeah. So, we were laughing about that because of the IKEA having the centimeters. I don't know metric, like unless it's socket sets that I'm working on my cars. I'm not good with metric.
Yeah, see, no, I just wait till it spins around. I'm like, okay, it must be metric. Nah, it must be meters. I just wait till I strip.
They've got this like foot long IKEA hot dog, and of course, like because I'm the person that I am, and people know all these stories. I'm getting like my cousins sending me stuff. So, have you seen this? Like, right. I'm glad that's what people think of when they see stupid shit like that. They think of it, hey, look at this. But yeah, so with Lent, you guys are Catholic, and for Christy's Catholic, and for many years, and we have certainly not been as good of you guys of attending church over the last, how long, whatever. But it's funny
how long, whatever.
We all worship differently. That's what I like to say.
Right.
But yeah, so me as the Methodist, I was raised Methodist,
heathen,
right? And I haven't really been too hot on the Methodists over the last 10 years maybe or so, because they've really taken on a lot of social justice type issues, and there's been a big divide in that church. Not that I'm here to tell people all about that, but it's just funny because when Sean was asking us about that, ahead of time and saying like, when are we going to talk about giving up for Lent? And I don't know. It's always easy to say those easy ones like, oh, I'm not going to drink, or I'm going to eat better, or I'm going to do this, or I'm going to try to be a better person. All the stuff that I always say I try to do. But I knew it was funny because I always laugh about being Methodist, and I was very involved in church when I was younger and stuff. And John Wesley, and they used to laugh about how he was super strict and told people they couldn't dance.
So right.
So right. My whole hook here was going to be like, well, maybe I'll just give up dancing. But then I said, what I need to go back and see what was some of the other things that he was really hot on, about those early Methodists and what they didn't like. And I'm like, what, this actually works in my favor, because a lot of the things I'm pretty much already good on. But usually it's Sean giving us some history lessons, but here's a little backstory on the early Methodist, amongst things, the dancing. It says the early Methodists did not participate in and condemned what they quote called worldly habits, including playing cards, racing horses, gambling, attending the theater, dancing, and in quotes, both in frolics and balls, and my favorite, cockfighting.
There you go. Right.
So wait a minute. So I got to stay in all 40 days?
No biathlons for you.
Yeah.
So I am definitely not going to be participating in any cockfighting. We're going to keep that. Like that's going to be my baseline one. No cockfighting. And then
you got to take the app off your phone. No gambling on cockfighting.
Right. Yeah, because they've actually intertwined. I'm actually on DraftKings looking for.
I was just say DraftKings,
looking for. Can I bet $5 on this cockfighting?
To win 120.
So, yeah, I don't know. I don't have. I'm sure you guys will have better examples than me, but I'm gonna go back to those Methodist roots and try to avoid some of those things that my early Methodist and what John Wesley found was to be very unholy, and the things that we shouldn't be doing.
Well, what the priest said in the sermon today, what he said was like, everybody picks the easy ones. Like, obviously giving up dancing's easy because we're white guys. I mean, we don't dance. Are you kidding me? We don't dance. Are you like, and we're straight too. You know what I mean? It's just like, so we're not going to dance. I mean, that's easy to give up. But I was like, oh my God, the Swedish hot dog from freaking IKEA. Like, Scott, that would be like so hard for him because it's like twofold. His love of IKEA and things Scandinavian. Like, Scott has like thousands of shortens now and things like that because he's going there to get that massive hot dog. And it's also helps with his addiction to Swedish porn, like giving him the idea from the 60s. Like the Swedes really started the porn revolution.
Who's the guy laying in the bed section with the foot-long hot dog, just staring at it?
Sitting there, like, it's like, by the way, the bed section right next to where everybody.
Old things have become new again.
Yeah, like he's just sitting there like with an eye shot of that little food court they got. Like girls are eating Swedish meatballs and a big Swedish hot dog of some sort.
And he's
guy.
He's like putting it together like a puzzle.
I gotta go to the bathroom. I'll be right back. I gotta go to the bathroom.
But you go into the women's room because you can't tell the names on there, so you're getting busted for that.
It's some like kind of word with like umlauts over it. I'm like, what does that mean?
And the Hoffman Estates cops all know you because they're like, well, here's that guy again. I'm just up here on business. What are you talking about? It's a convenient place to stop for me. But I was like, oh my God, how easy, I mean, how hard would that be? I mean, the fact of the matter is
that's
like,
tough. I better just, it's like being a drug addict. Just stay out. Just
they're really tempting him, Chris. They're billing it as the one that's bigger than the one in Costco. Costco is everything's massive. Like the 55-gallon drum of cranberry juice that you can buy at Costco. Like you're like, that's got to be a big hot dog. I mean, there's so many ways to go with this, but like
he comes home with a wall unit for a 95-inch TV. Like what did you like? We don't have a TV. We don't have a wall that big. I don't know. It was on sale. I get a free hot dog with that.
And Chrissy's like, how many bookshelves are we gonna buy? Like, the last thing you read was Highlights magazine,
and there's so much salt. There's just so much salt in it that I'm carrying a gallon of water and I'm drinking it like Napoleon Dynamite, standing in the kitchen just chugging water because
your joints are swelling as you eat it. You could just
I can't stand up.
It's a contest.
And then the Swedes, like, they really get pissed at me because I put ketchup on it, and they're like, "Oh no."
Yeah. And they obviously, the Swedes and the Norwegians have like this big rivalry to begin with anyway, almost as big as the Finns. But like, you've traveled out of Scandinavia now, and I think you're going to be safe if you've completely avoided it. Like, that's good. Like, giving up things that are hard. I mean, I'm not saying that because we're talking about a big Swedish hot dog.
A Swedish hot dog has like it's like their version of Chicago hot dog has like lutefisk on it. Yeah. It's like. Like you put ketchup and lutefisk on your hot dog.
How bad the hot dog is. It's like
served in a lefse roll, like nauseating.
Oh,
how about you, Chris? What are you talking about? What are you thinking?
Well, I don't know. Well, I mean, I got all kinds of stories growing up because my grandfather, God rest his soul, he was probably my favorite because I'm just like him. But he would drink. He was a Polak man. He drank scotch every day, and I mean. A good portion of it, and every day come home from work, he'd go to work, do the thing. But every Lent and Advent, he would give up alcohol. So on Fat Tuesday, he'd eat punchki and drink like a gallon and a half of Passport Scotch. So
he'd load up.
He's a carb loading like he's running a fucking marathon,
Like, he's a Polish bear. Like, Polish pierogi, that stuffed animal.
If I get my BAC to a 0.3, I can coast through. I can coast through the
next 40 days. I can have the patience of Jesus, right? So I remember just like by day 20. You just saw, and by day 37, he was just like flipping tables and put his hand through the wall. And then, Easter, Jesus is risen. He's just he's hammered by the time the Kuhan butter comes out. I'm like, you want a coffee? No. Passport in a shot glass. I'm like, just pour it in a water glass.
Coffee cup full of scotch in the morning.
But every year. Yeah. Every year, both of them 40 straight, never cheated, ever.
But you were never much of a drinker, though, dude. Every time we would get together, you always played it straight, man. You were always good about it. I mean, so he's inspired you in some way or the other. You know what I mean? Like you definitely didn't pound. So
but I mean, I would always give up like something like but I was always the easy stuff like Diet Coke or something. I was thinking about something harder. Like the last time I gave up sweetener. And I haven't had it, but I didn't do it during Lent. I just did it during, because I didn't do anything last Advent or Lent or whatever it was. So I just did it during, I said, all right, I owe God one. So I did 45 days of it and I never went back. It's kind of like, hit or miss.
Yeah.
So you gave up, like you said, you gave up like sucralose or some shit like that? Like you totally avoided sucralose. Like they're coming to you with the sweet and low and the yellow packets. And like, no.
He's just drinking Tab.
No. Sir, can I get you any sweetener with that? No.
Yeah,
just
I don't know.
I said just a lemon. He's all pissed off because he's got sugar.
Right. I don't know. I'm thinking about maybe this year. I'm thinking maybe trying to do maybe going to mass one day a week and Sunday. I don't know. I mean, I don't know. Like, giving up being kind. I don't know. I have no idea. I don't, it's just one of those things that,
go to confession more. That's what they're recommending too. Is like one of the top 10 things you're saying to try to do is like go to mass. Some people are saying daily. Say the rosary more, spend more time in prayer. Go to
Last time I went to confession, we went face to face, and Debbie was ahead of me. She's going and going and going and going and going. I'm like, what the hell? I'm like, okay, maybe I got something to think about. Then I go sit in front of the priest. He's like, you really don't got to say anything. She told me everything. I'm like, oh, that's great. Thanks. That's perfect.
She got double credit for the
story about the polls. And funny story about the polls and confession. My father and I grew up in a town. We all grew up in the Irish Polish area in New Jersey, and everybody was Catholic. Like in the Poles and the Irish were strict Catholics. And my father had a friend by the name of Henny. That Henny was this hilarious dude that just was a big Henny Conroy. His name was. He's since deceased, and he's a good friend of my father's. My father always told funny stories about him. But they had to go to confession, but the lines were apparently something was up where they couldn't go to the standard, St. Mary's South Amboy. So they had to go to the Polish church, which is right over the city line in a town called Saraville that had quite a few Polish people in it. Mm-hmm. And you went in there and, there was a lot of Polish priests. So Henny's like, I'm going to go in there and tell them all of these things that, he even made shit up just to see what the reaction would be. And my father, like when we were kids, you'd go into church, the red light would be on over the confessional, you'd sit there and it was really quiet and solemn. Like people are praying, lighting candles and waiting to get in there. And my father says that like about 2 minutes in the whole thing, forgive me, Father, I've sinned. He's in there. And he's in there giving this story, these details about these perverted things that he was thinking. And the name is lost. And he's like, this Polish priest, like, you heard him screaming from inside the confession, what is wrong with you? He chased him out of the church. Just ran out of the church. And they both ran out of there. I'm like, oh my God, when I get a chance to tell that story, I'm definitely going to do it. But, they say with Lent, it's not just about giving things up. You can also add something to that. So, Chris, if anybody didn't need to add anything to his life, it would be you, Chris. I'll tell you that. Right. You're so fucking busy all the time. But that's great.
He's like in the confessional. He's like, hold on a second. I got to finish
payroll.
Take
this. And then he starts yelling at those security guards. Well, you tell him. And the priest's like, are you talking to me? Do you want me to close the
No, I got to close this deal.
No, I'm on the Bluetooth. Hold on.
Do you want me to close the partition? Let me know, just knock and let me know you come back in.
You can barely see through the screen. This is my home.
Yeah, you're doing the finger. Like, hold on a second.
I gotta. This is Do I gotta tithe this? Because this is gonna 10% is a big number, bro.
Right.
5% is a big number.
Your active contrition count that you got to go through.
Right. Can I just pay for it? Can I just buy it? I mean, seriously, can I just buy it? So,
which is not beyond the church either, but
no.
When I was listening to the readings today, I was like, you know what? I think for me, I'm going to give up gossip. I'm going to try to get past gossip. And I was
do a podcast, bro. How are you going to do that?
But again, you got to pick something that's difficult.
Well, we do it on Sundays. Aren't you supposed is it on Sundays or you're what is it? Abstain from it?
This is my confession
for us.
Yeah.
But I thought gossiping, and I was like, oh man, that's tough because I like history, and all history has degraded itself into in the United States now is basically it's gossiping about things that happened 150, 200 years ago. You can't talk about the founders without them being considered racist slave owners. It's you're gossiping about them. Thomas Jefferson, I've joked about him about how when he went to France, he developed a relationship with a 14-year-old, slave girl that was there. Slavery was not illegal in France, obviously, at the time. And when they came back to the United States altogether, Jefferson stayed part of that and supposedly had children by her and everything else. And it's all rumor and conjecture and everything's about you can talk about people without gossip.
Well, there was a show, The Jeffersons. Just saying.
Right. They were. Thomas Jefferson inspired them all to be cleaners.
I'm just saying.
He left the apartment in the sky.
Coincidence? Don't know. But anyway, go ahead.
But I was looking to give that up, but I realized that takes away a lot of the fun of history. If you know anything about history, a little bit about history, and a lot of people don't, which is amazing because it's a failure of the American education system where you talk more about feelings than our past, our collective past, the sense of pride in America, good or bad, you know what I mean? That kind of sense. And I was always able to kind of like take stories historically and piece them together and see how long I could fool people about history. I literally convinced council members at a meeting one time, we were talking about some budgetary thing where I used to work, that our town founder was a cannibal. Like, because I tied in like the Donner Pass thing to our own town founder, and that when they were
like the Oregon Trail or something.
Yeah, right, exactly. Just put it all together. That kind of
you
stuff.
died of dysentery.
And like people were sitting there, and like our PIO, like for the agency, was sitting there, like they're like, "Did that really happen?" And I was like, "Well, yeah. Well, what happened when they first came here, the DuPage River? They thought it was a much mightier river, and they settled there, and it had a really, really harsh winter, and they couldn't move on. So
and the water's only ankle deep.
Yeah, right. And people started to die. The game was not there. They couldn't survive. They ran out of supplies rather quickly, and they had to resort, unfortunately, to cannibalism to survive. And people didn't know that, but he actually, you know, they ate each other to live. I mean, it's just like, you know, and people are, one, fascinated by history, and then two, fascinated, secondly, by cannibalism.
They're fascinated by Sean's version.
Right. And what, I mean, you know so much history. Who's not going to believe what you're saying?
They're looking at him like, oh yeah, nodding their heads.
Oh wow, yeah.
My partner Mike's sitting there looking at me like, you don't do it. And I'm like, I'm just going to keep going until somebody figures out that this is ridiculous.
Somebody calls bullshit.
So I just kept going. I was like, yeah, but like they ate each other. It was like they just had to survive. People understood it. I go, realized that when they were going to make there's a statue of the guy like pointing like westward or something like that in town, like, at this big plot of land. And I said, and instead of having that like scroll in his hand, they were actually going to have a human liver, like he was like serving it up. And they were like, I saw some of the people like kind of like, I don't know how true this is. I go, and unfortunately his wife died during it, and they were with child. And I said, and like he only brought her out for special occasions, so when the other survivors would come over, they would normally just you know, like whatever they would eat her for a special occasion because she was just so tender. And
the children are like veal.
Yeah, right, exactly. Wagyu beef, you know what I mean? And they're like, that's not true. I'm like, I'm glad you finally caught on. You know
wow, that was only 30 minutes of your life you're not going to get back.
Right? And the funniest part of this, right? Like this was a story that Sean fabricated about history and how people survived, and it was told so many times to so many people, especially new people, which was funny as shit. And I've actually had people say, oh my God, Sean used to tell this story about the founding father of this town was a fucking cannibal, you know? And people still laugh about it. I mean, it's been like years now, and that is still a story. And I'll bring it up to some people that are still like around our age and all work together at that time, you know? And I'll say, yeah, remember that story that he used to tell about him being a cannibal? And they're like, holy shit, that's one of the funniest things I ever heard. And he goes, you wouldn't believe how many people actually believe that, because he's just selling it up. I'm like, you really fabricated a hell of a story in your head about this guy. I mean, it's amazing.
Yeah. I perfected that story when I was in the Army. I convinced a bunch of guys that I served with in the Army that the same thing happened to Leonard Skinner when they crashed in Mississippi, and they ate Ronnie Van Zant to survive. It's just like, that didn't happen. I'm like,
that's really why he wasn't on those like third and fourth album covers.
Yeah, right. It's just like you steal something from like you pay attention to these things, like the Uruguayan rugby team that crashed in the Andes. They had to survive for 72 days. They ate each other. Then you took about the
or whatever,
and then you start referencing whatever. You should have heard the bit I had about him and Grandma Sally, like how they got together and they were the great grandparents of Officer Friendly. Like Grandma Sally, like Joe Napier loved how Grandma Sally churned butter, if you know what I mean. So, there you go. And then people are like, come on, man. Come on, man. But I got to get serious. This Lent, I got to get serious. I got to stop joking about
quality story, by the way, though. It's still.
Yeah, it was good. It lasted.
It actually is a form.
We're going on 26 years, and it's still surviving.
Right. It's our history.
That's the gift that keeps on giving.
It's a revisionist history that, like the rest of Americans have.
History. Right.
It's just it's so much cooler. You know, it's just I thought, like, aren't you interested by that?
And when it intertwines into real history, people get all fucked up because it's like. I heard this weird story from a guy who used to work here that said that guy was a cannibal, and it's like it's in the bloodstream now. Like you can't ever take that out. People actually have to purposely like say why that's not true because actually
I'm going to get sued by the preemption house people down there. They're just going to sue me. I'm going to lose my pension over that because anyway.
Oh man. But anyway, so all right. So what are you going to give up for real, Sean? I don't know.
I gossip. I'm going to try to not gossip about people.
After he just told that story.
Cutting a drama. Look,
meanwhile, here we are. You got 4 days.
That's like your grandfather built up some like real got ready for it. Like I've got plenty of stupid stories and shit I talked about people, like joked about with people that I can probably try to get through the next 40 days and then maybe beyond. You know what I mean? That's seriously. You got to pick something that's difficult.
Yeah.
It's not like a fucking tape measure. You know what I mean? Snap it back in. You know what I mean?
Listen, I'm not Catholic, so I don't follow quite exactly the same as that goes. You know, I'm not under the same strict guidelines.
I bet that by next week I don't go to confession 1 week. I'm going to try confession every week and one mass every day, and then mass on Sunday.
Beyond Sunday.
Mass on Sunday, one during the week, and then confession during the week.
We're taking away. And we're
I'm going to do 4 extra episodes of Joel Osteen.
Right. I spend more time in prayer.
Be a victor.
Yes, right.
And every show for the next 40 days, you have to come with a saying from Joel. It's got to be something. That's we're going to start off the show.
It's 4 weeks. It's 4 weeks. You got to.
It's 4 weeks. So the next 4 weeks, you got to come with it, and then
open with some Joel Osteen, and then all of a sudden, then 4, 5, 6 weeks. Now you start to see that I have the same haircut as Joel.
And you were in that same suit.
I'm wearing that shiny suit, and I
just don't like unhappy people. It's like I tried to get in on Joel Osteen.
And my father started his first church with a dirt floor, and now I'm a mega millionaire.
And we've been blessed with the real estate. It's a
the real estate, right.
Hey, righteous gemstone.
Right. I'm gonna look like a Men's Warehouse commercial with that Jerry Seinfeld looking haircut of his from 1990.
At the Compact Center. He keeps saying Compact. Like, bro, is Compact even around anymore? Stop. I got over 100 million.
I wanted him and Bishop Fulton Sheen to have a grudge match, boxing match, to raise money for kids. Joel Osteen took one look at the bishop and was like, I'm out. I can't do this. This guy's going to kill me.
I'm going to look like Joel Osteen, and I'm going to make Chrissy dress like Tammy Faye Baker. She's going to be in the back row crying with all that mascara running and that big hair like she's back in high school.
Yeah. I'm a sinner. I've done some things with a prostitute. I'm a sinner. Please forgive me.
We are making a mockery of these men of faith.
No, this is they made a mockery. They made a mockery of themselves.
Fulton Sheen was a badass. I'm going to tell you right now, man. That dude was locked in. I'm not making fun of him. I just think he'd kick all their asses. I'm going to tell you that right now. He's not a man of violence, obviously, but he looked like a guy that would tune you up.
Which one's this guy?
Fulton Sheen. Oh my God, dude, you gotta check him out.
He's got a lot of religious
videos. He's got a YouTube channel bigger than ours right now.
Well, what does he look like?
He looks like a dude that would tune you up. Like he just.
Is he the bald guy with the gray beard?
No.
Okay.
You gotta go way back for this guy. Like if you're
way back.
Like I don't know when we were. When we were younger, my father's a very faithful guy, but he's realistic about Catholicism. He'll joke about it and things like that. But he would talk about Fulton Sheen quite a bit. He turned me on to him, and I'm like, all right, you listen to him. He talks a lot, but he's really intense. Like a lot of priests are softer. Fulton Sheen is he's locked in. That guy will get you.
A lot of Catholic priests are softer, if you know what I mean.
Definitely put on a helmet and one of those white tunics with the big red cross on it and go help those Europeans after listening to Fulton Sheen. Let's go. Giddy up. I know how to ride a horse. Let's go. The new Crusades kind of a thing. Anyway.
I was going to say, bro, the Crusades from the 1400s, slow down.
Hey, look, man. There's no timeline when we're talking God here, man. There's no timeline. It's ebb and flow. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Marco Rubio just went over there and told them what we're bound by with each other, and faith was one of them. So it's kind of cool. Anyway.
Well, I mean, but that is the thing. I mean, you see faith, and it bound by faith, and God we trust is all over. So there's got to be something for it. That's for sure. Because if there's not, I'm going to be awfully fucking pissed. If there's no heaven, so shit, everything I'm giving up and not doing, I'm be fucking angry.
There's heaven. There's heaven. There's totally heaven. Well, I may spend a little time in purgatory, but at least I got hope to get to heaven. I'm not.
Oh, bro, then that purgatory, that's like 7 steps. I mean, I got,
hey, whatever.
Man.
As long as I know, I think you're talking. There's no clocks in the afterlife, Chris. So
yeah, but I try and minimize. Like, I mean, adultery, I'm good, and but the whole thing about money, I'm like, fuck, I'm gonna be a long time there.
So your deadly sin is greed.
Yeah, greed. I'm gonna be on that. Is that like near the top? Because I could like skip the first 4, maybe 5, but there's 2. But my greed, I'm gonna spend a long time there.
I don't know if there's one that's worse than the other from the deadly sins. I'm sure people would tell me that.
Chris is doing like the Goodfellas handshake up in heaven. He's giving the guy. He's got 100 folded in his hand. Like, I'm
giving St. Michael a Cecina. Hey, right. I don't go there. Like from Goodfellas, I don't like to stand in line. I go this way through the kitchen. It's much easier.
I've had money since my first Holy Communion. It's mere fascination.
But that's what I'm going to give. That's what I'm going to give St. Michael my first $1 from my baptism. Hey, man, this is for you. I've been saving this. Saving it. Go through it. Anyway,
with this conversation, I'm sure we're doing as much as we can to stay in purgatory.
Right. Well, we'll see you all there. So anyway, thanks everybody for listening for the show today. Please go to where you get your podcasts, download, leave a rating, review, subscribe. Please tell all your friends. We are really trying to make the world a better place through this podcast. If you have a question, concern, idea for a show, idea for a guest, or want to be a guest, you can email us at 3copstalk@gmail.com. And you could also go to the website, 3copstalk.com, and you could also get old episodes and leave us emails there. Otherwise, thank you so much for listening to our silliness, and have a blessed day, and good luck with your 40 days.